Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Hobby Chat. How's everyone doing? I think it's a pretty quiet day today, but we will hang out, we will stream, and we'll get some work done. Hope everyone's having a good day. If you're joining me live or if you're joining me sometime in the future, hope you guys are doing well. Hey, again, how's it going, man? Thanks for joining. How you been? How you been? There you go. That title make me laugh. Chaos, why does that make you laugh? How's it going, man? Koski, how are ya? So we're gonna be working on some, let's see here. Rotate clockwise, counterclockwise. Yeah, that's what I want. No, actually undo that. Is that correct? Let me see here. Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny because you mentioned that because I feel like because I've been so inconsistent with my streaming, which is obviously my own fault, there's a lot less viewership, which is my fault too, right? So I do appreciate all of you guys that tune in, even if it's a few of you. And obviously I'm not doing the podcasts right now because I'm just on a bit of a hiatus from the podcasts. So, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that today as I do some painting. So what I'm working on right now, just so you guys are aware, Mulus Vortex Beast, which I've been agonizing over a trillion years. Still, it's basically at this stage right now. So just literally basically done. I just need to finish the little tentacle piece. So this has been now airbrushed. So I'm going to be working on that today. And the goal is that by the end of this session, we finish this and I can put this away and I can start on the next project at least pretty soon. So that's what I'm going to be working on. Nice. Are you painting them in regular World Leaders colors? Gannon? Let me know what you guys are working on in chat. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Appreciate it. I've had a pretty eventful, I guess it's been about a week since I did any sort of hobby stream. I did some gaming streaming on Friday, actually, some Diablo 2. Not very successful, to be honest, but you know what? It was fun. It was fun just kind of playing video games online. I have determined, though, that my beefy PC does not like it when... Hey, Jen, how's it going? Oh, thanks, Gruski, man. That means a lot to me, man. Look, you know, at the end of the day, if I have one person watching and it's just me and one other person hanging out and chatting and painting, I'm happy, right? Because one of my favorite memories and my favorite things that I've ever, like, hobby-wise that I've ever done has been, like, my co-host David Koska on the Best Overall show. We actually started, like, during the pandemic, like, last year before I was streaming, we would do video, like, FaceTime hobby and painting sessions where we would literally just hang out, we'd FaceTime each other, and we'd both be painting, and we'd just hang out and chat, and just the two of us, right? So it was essentially like, it's no different than streaming in a lot of ways, except instead of having all you guys, I just had David. So it was literally just me and David, and we would just sit there and shoot the shit and chat. And that was actually one of the things that, you know, we had a lot of really good conversations, like life talks. You know, we're very different people, me and David, but you know, we have a lot of I think we're both very like I don't say emotional dudes, but like we're both very like reflective dudes, and so we had a lot of really like intense conversations about like life and like work and like all sorts of other stuff that I normally don't have anyone to talk to about, and because we're both in the hobby, like a lot of it like circled around the hobby as well. So it was just, I don't know, it was just like a really it was a really like enjoyable part of my pandemic, I guess. Oh, that's cool, Jin. That's cool, man. Yeah, man, guys, it's you know what I have to, and I'm gonna talk about it. As in my title, my show title today. Uh, and you guys have probably noticed this based on like how much I've been streaming and just kind of hobbying and stuff. Like literally, this is the first time I painted since the last stream. No, actually, that's not true because I obviously airbrushed this thing to the color. Like I airbrushed this the purple and the uh the blue, but my hobby motivation has been really, really just gone. It's been so hard, like a struggle to paint. And it's not because I'm like, it's not like because I'm really busy or I'm tired or I'm like feeling like there's other things that I would rather be doing. It's just been really hard to like sit down and pick up my brush. And I think one of the nice things about streaming is it's kind of like some time that I kind of like not necessarily force myself, but definitely set aside for that specifically. And so like, I have some commissions to do. Like this is part of a commission. I have some rubrics to do, and then I have an orc commission, which I'm going to be actually building tomorrow. I'll be starting tomorrow. So I'm actually excited to paint some orcs. I've never painted orcs really at all, I think. I mean, I've painted maybe 1 or 2 orc models in my entire life. So I haven't really done a lot of orc stuff in general. And so I have a commission for basically some Killicans and a Ghazghkull that I'm going to be starting tomorrow on stream. So hopefully you guys can tune in. I'm going to be building those models and kind of talking through some ideas on the paint scheme. And then once those are built, I'm going to basically be working on that mostly. I do have one other commission. I'm just waiting for the models. But right now, basically my goal is to finish up all my current commissions, and then I don't know. I just want to get back to painting for fun and painting like when I want to. that the Games Workshop model sucks. But yeah, so just getting into it. Anyways, thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure to like the stream if you guys are on Twitch and or Facebook. I appreciate you guys tuning in on both channels. So basically, just a few things. So I just talked about current projects. So I'm working on this Mutolith. Goal is to finish this today. Then I'm going to be starting some orcs tomorrow on stream. And I'm going to be doing those with some rubrics as well. So those are kind of be back and forth on those. But my goal is to get the orcs done by the end of the year. And get those out to the client. And then I'm also working on a Sylvanas Windrunner. Sylvanas Wind something. I don't know what her last name is. Sylvanas, I think. She's like the blood elf chick. Undead blood elf chick. Which I actually think is really cool. The idea of like undead elves. So I have like a big bust of her that I'm doing. Or not a bust, sorry. A big statue of that I'm doing for a client for Christmas. So I'm going to try to get that done early before Christmas. So I do have a decent amount of painting to do in the next little while. And I will be streaming a lot of it. I'm not sure if I can do the Sylvanas because it's supposed to be a Christmas gift. So yeah, night elf. But she's also undead, isn't she? She's like an undead night elf. What did I call her? A blood elf? Isn't blood elves a thing? Are blood elves also in WoW? Am I getting games confused? See, I never played. She's the Banshee Queen. She's undead. Are blood elves a thing, or is that a different game? My WoW heads. What do you guys? Yeah, okay, there's both. Okay. Okay, Kael'thas. See, I don't like. I kind of lost. Like, I remember playing Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3. Like, that was as far as my lore went for Warcraft. I never got really like. I played WoW, but I never ever like played it past like I played like the original like launch version, and I never really got into it. And then I also played it again, I think around Burning Crusade. I think I picked it up, but I never actually like really got into it. I just felt like I was too far behind the curve. Yeah, so I never really understood. Blood elves are also WoW. Okay, Kael'thas. I know that there's like badasses like I've watched all the cinematics, I think, from the expansions and stuff. So I feel like I have a little bit of a idea of like the lore, assuming the cinematics are like somewhat reflective of the lore, I guess. Oh, dude. Welcome to the like revolution, Richard. Fat Dingo says he picked up some Pro Acryl paints. There, guys, like I literally like I'm not much of a product shell, but I have to say like these Pro Acryl paints, I like it's hard to use other paints now that I use these. Their colors are so smooth, and like just things like they're like Fat Dingo mentioned like the whites are so smooth. The metallics are even good. Like I don't love their metallics, but they separate quite a bit. So I would highly recommend getting like a vortex mixer and shaking the fuck out of them. But like they're so smooth. Like I don't like the metallics because I feel like their colors aren't great. Like their silver is too white. The one color that I really like actually is their light bronze. Like their bronze, they have a few bronze colors that I really like. It's kind of like almost like a white gold, which I really like. But like I find like their copper and stuff, like it's their range of metallics aren't amazing. But and their gold, like I don't love. They have these two golds, rich gold and bright gold. I don't love these gold tones, to be honest. Like I've used them, but I don't love them. I prefer scale 75 for metallics currently. But what I will say is that once you use Pro Acryl paints, guys, like you'll be like, how are these so much better than everything else? And I say that having a lot of love for Games Workshop paints, scale 75 paints, Army Painter stuff. Like it's all good paint. I'm not saying like those are bad paints or like don't use those paints. They're still good paints, but like the coverage and the smoothness and the, I guess like the matte finish is something that like you just can't get anywhere, I feel. I've never done a painting class, Jin, and you know what? It's something that I really do regret because I've always felt like I've basically self-taught, right? And not even just self-taught, but like self-taught before the internet had 1,000 painting YouTubers and like Patreons where you could go get like private lessons or tutorials. Like when I started painting, nothing like that existed, right? So for me, it's like I definitely don't have that like, so I'm self-taught in that sense. But with that said, one of the things that I've always regretted, and I think this is part of me is because I'm stubborn, is like not taking enough painting classes, because I've always felt like, oh, I don't want, there's not, like, not that I couldn't learn from them, but like it felt like cheat codes to me, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like it felt like I was cheating if I took a class. I don't know if that makes any sense at all whatsoever. But like I always felt like taking a paint class was like, I don't know, like taking like like drugs or something. Like it was like performance enhancing drugs. Like it was like it wasn't like me using my natural talent and my natural ability, but it was like basically stealing technique from other painters, I guess. Does that make sense? Does that seem really like kind of like a weird thought process that I think that way? I just felt like I always, not that I would never like read a tutorial, but like an actual painting class, like where I went and like an instructor taught me how to do something, I felt like that was cheating. Even though like obviously nowadays I do look at tutorials and there's lots of great, YouTubers that have free content. I feel like and one of the reasons I've never done any sort of like painting, people have asked like, oh, would I do painting lessons or would I do like, obviously I have a few paint videos on the channel, which are, they're fairly rudimentary, but they weren't meant to be super advanced. They're meant more for me to learn how to like edit and stuff. Like that was like the main reason I did those videos. But like for me, I don't like to pay for content like that because I feel like there's so much good free content. And so I would never want to like pay myself for, like I would never want to charge for that kind of stuff, because for me, painting is one of those things where it's like, it's already so inaccessible. I feel like learning how to paint models is already like so difficult. I would hate to like make it even harder for people and to paywall it. You know what I mean? For me, painting is like one of those things where it's like, I want as many people as possible to learn to do it and to do it well and to do it like without any barriers. Right. And so for me, no, I understand that, Richard, and you're absolutely right in that sense. But also like, think about it. A lot of really great artists never go to school. They just paint, right? They just paint and they build portfolios and stuff like that. And, when you think about like, I'm a chef, and I know a lot of people that went to culinary school and art school. They went to like, say, game design school or like, graphics design school, or all these fucking schools where these like private art colleges charge you thousands and thousands of dollars because those private schools have super high tuitions, and they come out of it and they can't do shit, because everything they've learned is like theoretical instead of like actually just like going out and painting and just like learning and like making mistakes and like doing the thing. So for me, I don't know, I guess in my heart, I want painting to be something that's like if anyone ever wants painting lessons, just hit me up, right? Or ever needs advice for painting, I'm very happy to like share anything I know. And again, I'm not a Golden Demon painter. I'm not gonna win any awards anytime soon for like individual painting. But I'm always happy, and it brings me great pride and joy to share what I know and what I do, and not put that behind like some sort of like Patreon paywall. And again, that's not to say that those artists that do that are bad. Like they are doing like all the power to them, and I hope those guys are super successful in that endeavor and like make lots of money and are super rich and like become super successful. So I want to be that clear. It's just for me personally, it's not for me. For my personal philosophy is that I want things like painting to be as accessible as possible. It's kind of the reason I don't really believe in like things like coaching either. For 40K, and like again, no hate on like the guys that do that. I think that's a wonderful thing, but for me, it's so important that something like the hobby feels as accessible as possible. And so I hate having it behind that, like, I guess a barrier like that. I'd much rather just share that excitement and that knowledge for me. Yeah, that's true. But like hobby track and like painting contests are two different things, right? Like I'm an army painter, and although I can paint single models to a very high standard, my goal is always to paint armies to a high standard quickly, right? I'm not looking to, I've never really been into competition painting, which again is something that I've thought about a lot, right? And maybe going into next year, that could be a cool like goal for me as a hobbyist, is like focusing on, instead of focusing on armies and what game I'm gonna play, is really pushing myself as a artist versus as a gamer. Because not to say that I'm like the best gamer or anything like that, but I feel personally that I've accomplished things that have made me happy in the gaming space. And not to say that I know I can do it. I know if I really wanted to like say compete again in say the ITC or at a competitive level, I could. Like I know what it takes from a time perspective. I know what it takes from like a practice perspective. I know what it takes from like a focus perspective. Like I've done that, and I get that, right? Like I understand that. Now whether or not I want to do that again, that's like something, that's a question. But one thing that I haven't done ever, and one mountain I haven't climbed, is competition painting. So it is something that I've thought a lot about. Like honestly, I actually really wanted to enter the Golden Demon at Adepticon when they announced it. But what I realized, especially with COVID, was that like these artists, people are going to have like this Adepticon coming up in 2022. I think the level of paint at Adepticon in 2022 is going to be the fucking highest level of paint you've ever seen, because artists and people have had like 2 years basically to prepare their entries for Adepticon, right? And it's the first Golden Demon in North America since like Golden Demon Chicago like 1,000 years ago, right? So or wherever the last Golden Demon was, Baltimore or Chicago. So I kind of feel like this Golden Demon at the next Adepticon is going to be like crazy. I think the competition level is going to be insane. And I think a lot of also those like old, because it used to be the Crystal Brush, I think Cool Mini or Not did the Crystal Brush, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys probably remember probably more than me. But I believe a lot of those Crystal Brush painters, right, are gonna probably go into Golden Demon now, because I think a lot of those painters would have preferred to at least compete for a Golden Demon, because I think it's a much more, personally, even though I think there's more range and things like the Crystal Brush as far as like models, like there's like busts, there's like all sorts of different manufacturers and stuff that get to compete in Crystal Brush. I just think there's like a certain prestige with the Golden Demon, right? Yeah, I've seen that video, Jen. Thank you, and thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, there's lots of videos like that on competition painting. Like I follow Miniac and I follow Vince on YouTube. Both of those guys, they're very much into competition painting. There's a few other YouTubers that I follow that are into competition painting, and it's a whole different mindset from like what the things that I've traditionally done. But it's something that I could definitely see myself doing in the future. And it's something that I want to do, right? Like the problem has always been for me is that generally when I paint a model, it's for playing with, and when I'm playing with something, I want it on the table as fast as possible. So trying to find that balance between time invested and quality has always been something that I've been good at. But now I'm at a point where I'm not really painting to play, I'm just painting to paint. And so I could get in a situation where like I just kind of go for it. I've met Vince once briefly, I think, but obviously I'm not like best friends with him or anything like that. So, but yeah, he definitely seems like a cool guy. All right, so let's see what we're gonna do next. like the party was like, it was pretty late and I was ready to go. But I would totally get a Chaos Star tattooed on me for sure. I actually the funniest story for me though is like whenever I cross the border to the States, because often I have to check my army. So I remember going to like I've had probably at least a half dozen times either the land border where we from Vancouver driving into Washington, or the airport. Actually, this happened when I was going to the Las Vegas team tournament like 2 months ago. I checked my army case into oversize, and the guy like literally saw my army case and he's like, Warhammer, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, what army do you play? And I'm like, Chaos. And he's like, oh, I used to play Chaos Space Marines. And like me and the like airport security got in like a 10-minute talk about like we got like a 10-minute talk about like Chaos, and he hadn't played for like for a very long time, but it was pretty funny. I took a painted goblin to drop into again, assuming what Warhammer was that should be whipped out the goblin from my breast pocket when I'm over at Land's job. That's cool, man. Well, I don't. I'll think of that next time I go for a job interview. If that's something that I think will get me into the door. I don't know. Um. Okay, so that was current projects, and so a few updates on the podcast, guys. I've had a few people talk me what's going on with the podcast. Am I going to be coming back to it? Everything's just on hiatus right now. I have a bunch of commission work that I'm behind on that I need to really focus on. And to be honest, because I'm not playing a lot and David's been really busy with his move, and I just haven't had a lot to talk about 40K wise. So I'm not going to be doing the podcast. I'm thinking about like new formats and new, I guess, new ways to rejig the show. It'll probably be back in the new year at some point, but for now I'm just going to be doing like mostly painting and stuff. And kind of hobby stuff. I'm not going to be doing any sort of kind of podcasts, but when it does come back, it will be back eventually. I do enjoy having like those talks, but I think it's going to kind of, the podcast really depends on my engagement with the game as well. So right now, while I'm just busy painting, I'm going to kind of stick to just kind of hobbying and painting and stuff and just focusing on that. And then in the new year, probably when I'm back playing, once I'm kind of all caught up on everything, then I'll probably bring the podcast back at some point. And I'm just going to come back in a new format of some kind, because I found just before I need a bit more. Well, one thing I will say is like, it's very lonely doing this. Like obviously doing just like a painting stream is fine, but every week I would kind of have to do everything for the shows, like produce everything. So like show notes, figure out guests, figure out topics. And so I was just doing everything by myself for 3 different shows every week. And it was just a lot of work, I guess. So if I do come back, I'd like to try to find like a regular co-host of some kind, someone that like actually wants to like regularly do the show with me and talk 40K. I don't want to have to like feel like I'm like people are doing me a favor just by coming on the show, which is kind of what it felt like. Like it felt like my co-hosts, that they were like kind of doing me a favor by coming on the show, rather than like them feeling like it was a show we could do together. So that's probably going to be a big part of yeah, I know, man. Trust me, I know. It's been hard. It's been I think I mentioned earlier, it's just like not only have I been very busy, but painting motivation has been really hard. So that was the other thing. So I'm going to continue doing about 2 painting streams a week, probably 1 gaming stream. What I did realize playing Diablo 2, I did some Diablo 2 streaming on Friday last week, and like I think I need to get an NVIDIA card because I have an ATI. Look how fucking old gamer I am. I still call AMD cards ATI cards. I have an AMD card, like a Radeon, I think it's like a 5600 XT. So it's like a last gen card. It's like their mid-range card. It's not like a bad card, but what I found is that it's not really good at handling the workload of both OBS and gaming. So streaming and gaming. Like I found I had to turn down my graphics settings to like medium on Diablo 2 Resurrected, which is like not a high graphics game. And I'm playing at 1440p, but that's still like I still had to turn on the settings a bit because it was chugging a bit and it was causing my stream to actually be choppy. So what I'm probably going to be doing is I need to track down an NVIDIA card because that has like special NVENC coding on it. NVENC encoding. It has like a separate encoder for streaming, which offloads a lot of the work onto that encoder. And even though I have like a beefy computer, no, I still have my Soul Drinkers left. You can't see them, but they're on the shelf over there. I thought about selling them and just getting rid of them though. And then the other thing is too, I don't know if it's legit, but I've been trying to get a PlayStation 5 for like, well, I guess over a year. How long since PlayStation 5s came out? Over a year, right? And I follow a few Twitter accounts. And yesterday, both I follow like a PlayStation 5 Canada restock account on Twitter, and yesterday both Walmart and Amazon had restocks of PlayStation 5s, and I managed to order one on both before they all sold out. Now I don't know if I'm actually gonna get them because like it's fucking PlayStation 5 shit, and they're like impossible to get. But my Amazon order went through and my Walmart order went through, and my Amazon order is by Prime and it's supposed to be delivered tomorrow. So I'll know by tomorrow whether I got a PlayStation 5, which is cool. And if you guys can believe it, the last console, if I get both of them, both PlayStations, I'm gonna sell one. Obviously, I probably won't try to make I'll probably just try to get my money back, to be honest. I'm not gonna try to like scalp people, but if you can believe it, the last console I ever owned was a Sega Genesis. So that was literally the last console I've ever owned, and I got that in like 1994. My parents bought it for my birthday, like my 10th birthday. So that's how like little console of a player I am. I used to play a lot of N64 at my friend's house growing up. So like GoldenEye, like Mario Kart, that kind of stuff. And obviously I had like a Game Boy and stuff like that, but like I've never as an adult owned a like a modern console past the Sega Genesis. I've always been a PC gamer, and I'm still a PC gamer to heart. PC Master Race, obviously, hashtag. But the thing is, there's so many PS5 exclusive, there's PlayStation games that I've been wanting to play, like Bloodborne, Final Fantasy. There's a lot of games that like I feel like are exclusive or becoming console exclusives that I wanted to play. So I finally just bit the bullet and got one, and we'll see if it actually ships. Let me check the order right now. It says it has not shipped yet. So I paid $6.29 Canadian for a PlayStation disc, basically. They didn't have the digital, sold out in like 2 seconds. All right, let's see some questions. Yeah, man, I used to play Wolfenstein 3D. Like that was like one of the, like Wolfenstein 3D, like fucking Commander Keen. I don't know if you remember that. Moraf's World was like, I used to play fucking MUDs. Like in high school, we used to me and my friends, we used to play MUDs all day. Like, which are basically text-based. For those of you that are too young, MUDs are multi-user dungeons. They're basically text-based MMOs. Before like EverQuest existed, we used to play MUDs in like the 90s, and like it was like basically like chat, and it was like that was like the games that I grew up on, and I love those games. So, but yeah, Wolfenstein 3. Was it always called Wolfenstein 3D? Yeah, Doom, the original Doom. Like those, I grew up on those games. I think I still have Doom 2 on like 6 1.25 floppies somewhere in my parents' basement. I'm not even joking, because I kept it. It's like over 6 floppies, like the original Doom 2. But yeah, I used to love that shit. I remember getting playing like the original Half-Life when it came out, and like a trillion years ago. Getting my first 3DFX card, it was like a Voodoo 2 or something with like 16 megabytes of RAM. And that was like a fucking huge deal to get to have a 3D card at all was like a big deal, because back then like most people didn't have 3D accelerators, right? Like you couldn't play 3D games. And so getting like our first Voodoo, like getting that Voodoo 2 was like $600 at the time, which sounds like it was like a lot of money back then even, right? So, but I've always been a PC gamer at heart, and so, but I finally decided, you know, I'm getting old and I like to play from my couch a lot now. So even though I have, like, my setup's actually pretty good. I got like a 650-inch flat screen 4K that's hooked up to my PC as well. So I can go to my couch with my wireless keyboard and mouse and play games, but it's not as, I don't know, playing games on my couch with a mouse and keyboard is fun, but like it's not amazing. It's not an amazing experience. Duke Nukem 3D, man. We used to play the original Warcraft, like Warcraft 1 in our like school library. We just do LAN parties in our school library playing Warcraft 1 and Warcraft 2 when that came out, obviously, and like original StarCraft as well, obviously. So those are the days, man. Yeah, 96. I remember that. But anyways, I don't need to wax poetic about PC gaming, but I've always been a PC gamer. I've never been a console gamer. And so I finally got a console, I think. It's my first console ever. And yeah, I'm excited to see what happens and what games. But the thing is, the thing I don't like about consoles is like, I feel like I'm going to play a bit of it and I'm going to be like, man, my PC's so much better. And then I'm going to get mad that like certain games are like, because now there's Xbox exclusive games. And then I just read today that the new Elder Scrolls, like, because I loved Skyrim, it's one of my favorite games of all time, and Oblivion was like an amazing, like, I love the Elder Scrolls series. I played the fuck out of those. I haven't played, some people still play Skyrim, which is crazy. The game's like 10 years old. But I heard that they're going to be Elder Scrolls 6. They did an interview with the guy from Bethesda, which is I think owned by Xbox. Sorry, so Microsoft bought Bethesda, and I believe all the new Elder Scrolls games are going to be Xbox exclusives. They didn't even say PC, they just said Xbox exclusive, which usually means PC and Xbox. They just, when they say exclusive, they usually mean not the other console. But also, like, where's my Final Fantasy for PC, right? Where's my Bloodborne for PC, right? Like, I still haven't played these games, and I want to play them. I think the game that I spent the most time playing when I was like young kid, Baldur's Gate 2 was like, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 were like probably two of the like biggest, like amazing, like Baldur's Gate 2 still to this day, I will replay that game. It is like still to this day one of my favorite games of all time. TIE Fighter, the original TIE Fighter on PC, playing with a joystick was like unbelievably good. Fuck X-Wing, TIE Fighter was the way to go. The original Command & Conquer Red Alert was like, when that came out, was like, fuck man, I got the remastered edition, still like loved it, but obviously the magic's not quite there. But the full motion videos and stuff, man, those games were good. All right, I'm gonna get some painting done because I'm just chatting away about like old games and shit. All right. All right, so that was, sorry. So that was that was a very long update on the channel and what's happening. All right, next, I wanted to talk a little bit about, oh guys, also there's a new Spider-Man trailer coming out. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Apparently it comes out at like 5:30. So I want to watch that when it comes out. It's supposed to release at 5:30 Eastern, which is an hour ago, or already very soon. And so if it comes out while it says 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, which is 5:30. Oh no, that's 5:30 Pacific. I'm so dumb. So I never played, it's a good question. I'm having trouble remembering all the different endings. I'm pretty sure, oh, fuck man, I can never remember the endings. I'm pretty sure I played the, like, I don't think I remember playing the expansion, the one where, I don't remember that, but I remember the original, it's the one where like everyone dies basically. Like where you sacrifice yourself, I think. There's one. So I'm also excited for Baldur's Gate 3, but I don't know. Is anyone else excited for Baldur's Gate 3? Because I've been following, like, obviously I like Larian Studios. I liked Divinity 1 and 2. I never finished either of those games though, I gotta admit. Divinity 1, it kind of like, both those games like started really strong, but I found like halfway through, they just kind of dragged on and I just like stopped caring. So like Divinity 1, I got like, I think maybe 3/4 of the way through and I just couldn't finish it. And then Divinity 2, I basically hit a point where like, I don't know if I like leveled my characters wrong or like my builds were bad, but like I literally couldn't get past, like everything was just like destroying my party. Um, so yeah, I don't know. They're fun games though. Like those are the kinds of RPGs I like. Yeah, like I like Divinity. Don't get me wrong. I just, there's a point where like I kind of, I think I either fucked up one of the quests or like hit a point where um like yeah, it just, the game got just like the difficulty curve in like the third act got like really steep. And I know everyone's saying like GG noob, like whatever, but I don't know. I think I just built like dumb characters and I didn't cheese it. Like there's a lot of like obviously like builds where you can kind of cheese the game, but I built more just kind of like normal builds, I guess, which never really works in these games. Like you really have to min max these games. Um, so anyway, so I'm excited for Baldur's Gate 3, but I don't know. There's something about the graphic style of the like the game that I'm not loving. I would have much rather like an isometric 3D, like almost like the Diablo, like think about Diablo 2 remastered, that level of graphics, but like with six party members. Like that would, I'd be really happy with that for Baldur's Gate 3. You know what I'm saying? I kind of don't want the super high tech graphics. Like I kind of like the isometric sprites and stuff. I don't know, man. Vancouver's been fine. There's a barge. If you guys don't know, Vancouver had record. For those of you who don't live here, we had a. They're calling it an atmospheric river. Dumped about. I think they said 10 inches of rain or something like that, or maybe more. Um, the city of Vancouver, where I live, has been fine. I have friends. All the highways into the city are like flooded and closed, so we're basically cut off from the rest of Canada. And in fact, like 3 of the highways, like the bridges, basically got washed out. So there's like 2 highways that are flooded, and then there's like the ones with the bridges. Like the bridges are literally collapsed into the like river. So like we're literally we're literally trapped from the rest of Canada right now. But I don't know. Today was a beautiful sunny day. Even on the day with all the crazy rain, it was like pretty dry here. So I know there's like high winds and stuff, but the city itself has been pretty chill, to be honest. No flooding. So I don't know. I mean, I feel bad for people that live in the interior of the province, but it's been pretty chill here in the city. I literally walked around in a sweater and a t-shirt today. It was a beautiful sunny day. So not much going on from my perspective. what did I write here? Oh yeah, Spider-Man thing. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about today about pressure. It was kind of in the topic notes. And actually it's funny because I went to lunch today with a friend of mine, and so I've been going through some like weird things with work right now, and you know, I've been rethinking a lot about what I want to do as a career. And you know, one of the things that I came up in the conversation with my friend today was, you know, she asked me what I was doing later, and I said, you know, I was going to go do some streaming and do some painting. And you know, she asked me like, oh, what, you know, could you do that for a job? You know, could you paint as a career, right? And you know, for some of you that are know that like I've done, I would say like commission painting has been something that I've done intermittently the last like 3-4 years. Like I would never consider myself a full-time commission painter just because I do have other career, and it's something that I don't like take on a ton of projects. So usually I keep my amount of projects that I have quite small. And this year was a little bit of a departure from that because I wanted to see with the pandemic, like where I could kind of take it. And I took on a lot of work this year. And I've kind of fallen behind a lot on it. And one of the biggest things about what I've discovered is like through commission painting is that I'm not a good painter when it comes to like the pressure to paint, especially if it's like not my own stuff, is like really can be really like demotivating. And so trying to deal with that pressure has been something that like I've been really struggling with the last 2 or 3 months, because painting has always been like a kind of cathartic, therapeutic thing for me. And you know, I like doing commission projects because it gives me a chance to paint things that maybe I otherwise wouldn't, or do things that I otherwise wouldn't. So there's a part of me that does enjoy it, but also a part of me, it's really hard for me because I put a lot of like love and care into everything I do. Like, you know, people often ask me if I would do like different levels of painting, like, hey, will you do like a 3 colors minimum scheme for me, or something where it can be like quick and dirty, and I won't do that. Like I kind of paint everything to the same kind of standard, I guess. Like I paint everything to like a fairly high, like to my high standard, I guess, or to a standard where I have to enjoy the painting. Like it would be really unenjoyable for me to paint something poorly, you know what I'm saying? So when I do a project, whether it's you know, a small commission or a large commission, I want to have every model be as painted as like well as something that I would put on the table in my personal collection. I don't want people to feel like, hey, this was something he commission painted versus something that like he did himself. Like if I won't play it with myself, I won't like if I wouldn't paint it myself or play with it myself, I wouldn't paint it to that level, right? So like I take a lot of pride in like every model I do. So one thing that I've realized over this year, where I've done probably 5 times or to 10 times as much commission work as I've ever done before, is that I'm not a good painter under pressure, and I'm not a good painter when I have too much in front of me. One of the reasons I did sell off quite a bit of product was because when I got back in a 40K after like a 3 or 4 year hiatus, I had nothing in the queue. So I had literally like no projects. So what I would do is I would buy an army, or I'd buy like a model or a box, and I would just paint that one box, and that would be the only thing literally unpainted that I would own. So for about 2 or 3 years, I didn't have a pile of shame. I didn't own any models really. Like obviously I had like a model here or there in a bits box or a blister pack or whatever from like that have been like collecting dust, but I didn't actually like own like parts of armies that I wasn't currently painting. So I never really had like a pile of shame. I never really had like a bunch of stuff that was like looming to be painted, that was like making me feel like, you know, this pressure to get done. And this year that's been very different because of all the commission painting that I've done, where not only do I have my own stuff that's kind of sitting in the backlog because it's taken second priority, but I have boxes and boxes of commission stuff staring at me. And that like, I don't know, I guess that, I don't say that pressure, but that like that feeling of like having all this work to do and having to do it to deadline, and you know, I've been fairly I guess I don't want to say bad, but like I've been fairly like loose with my deadlines, and I'm always like that. Like I never really try to give hard deadlines because I do normally paint when I feel like it, I guess. And I try to paint. I obviously don't sit around and do nothing, but like I never force myself to paint and burn out. Because I feel like if I burn out, then it'll be even worse for whoever's waiting for the thing. So I try to paint when I have like that motivation, and I try to paint when I feel like I want to paint. And I try never to force myself to paint. But this year I've had to force myself to paint a lot, and it's been really tough. It's been really, really tough. Like it's not only affected the quality of my work, I feel sometimes. Like I feel like sometimes I rush through things, or I'm doing things not as carefully as I would, which I don't like. But also it really, really feels like punishment almost. And it's not something that I enjoy doing, is that rushing to paint. So my goal, and I guess what I want to do, is once I'm finished these next few commissions, I'm gonna kind of, I don't know, just take a lot less work on and be a lot more selective about it and what I want to do. And not really let myself, feel like it's something that I have to do for other people. And I want to get back to painting things for myself and like painting some fun things, I guess. What are we listening to right now? Oh, fuck. See, god damn it. Sorry guys, 1 sec. I was like, this doesn't sound like the playlist that I played because my hopefully I don't get a DMCA, but sometimes my playlists will go from like my let's see, this is the cue. Sometimes my playlists will go to from like my stream safe playlists to my like non-stream safe playlist on Spotify, and then all of a sudden I'm worried that I'm gonna get like a DMCA because people can copyright commission me. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. Like especially now that I'm not really playing, it definitely feels worse, the burnout, but it's okay. Like I'm gonna get through it. I'm excited actually. I think I mentioned I'm gonna be doing orcs tomorrow on the stream, so I'm excited to get that done because it's not something that I've really spent a lot of time on. And it's gonna be fun project. But like I'm so tired of painting chaos, to be honest. That's been the biggest thing. Like I painted so much chaos, I'm ready to paint other things. And I think that's why like I'm struggling right now, is like trying to get through all this chaos. I'm happy to, guys, if you guys ever want to do like some airbrushing tutorials or want me to do like an airbrushing Q&A, let me know, and I'd love to, like, when you guys get your airbrush, to like take you guys, like do any sort of like teaching or anything like that. I'm happy to take you guys through and do like a, I don't know, like a side by side. We can even do like a, if you guys want, you can even jump on stream if you guys want, and we can do like a stream hangout and airbrush kind of tutorials and stuff like that. I'm happy to do that, so let me know. Andrew, I'm not sure, to be honest. I think right now, like for my personal hobby goals as far as armies, once I'm done all the work that I've committed myself to, which probably won't be till January, to be honest, at least the minimum, I think I'm gonna just paint a few single models, see what kind of fancies me. I want to paint up like an Eldar model or two. I want to paint up a Custodes model. Obviously I want to kind of see what comes down the pipeline. But for me, the most important thing with like a new army is the models over the rules. So I got to figure out what that's going to look like, I guess. Obviously I've always liked Eldar. I just don't like the old models. So if I can get like some sort of signal that we're gonna get like an updated Eldar range, I'd probably be pretty down to do some Eldar. Custodes are looking fun. I don't know what their book's gonna be like. And then, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now, I guess. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, dude. Trust me, I painted Chaos for almost my entire Warhammer career. I started with Chaos back in Fantasy in the early 2000s. I played Chaos Space Marines. I've played Chaos for 40k. I played Chaos for Fantasy twice. So I agree with you. I love Chaos, and I will always be a Chaos player. But the thing is, like, I don't wanna just be Chaos Jim, you know? I wanna try to branch out a bit, and I think playing some different play styles will help me, and just like painting some different things, I think will be fun projects as well. But yeah, I agree. Chaos. The reason I loved Chaos is always because not just the conversion potential, but the paint potential, right? There's no other army like it where you can not only paint in kind of crazy colors, but you can just kind of go off the wall with your conversions and your like the models themselves, you know? Like Orcs is I'd say a close second. The problem with Orcs is like the aesthetic is very like rough, and I like very clean aesthetic. So I don't like the Orc aesthetic of like how messy it is, I guess. I feel like if I did an Orc army ever, it would be like the cleanest, like neatest Orc army. People would be like, oh, it looks like Eldar. Yeah, I agree, Jen. They definitely need new models. But what you gonna do, right? Chaos needs some new models too. Like, they're like, I feel like half their range is still as old. Like, they need, if they get new Khorne Berserkers, I could see myself doing a World Eaters army. But like, I think I'd paint it like old school, like 30k theme, like white and blue, personally. Because I've never been a big fan of painting red. Maybe I'd do a few units in red, but I think I'd do like majority of it in white and blue. I'm excited potentially for also like this new, there's like rumors of like this new Horse Heresy stuff. So we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Trying not to get too invested in anything. Yeah, I know. The problem is, like, I don't know. I like third-party stuff, but also, like, I'm a big fan of just, like, the GW plastics. Like, they're so nice. Yeah, the problem is, though, Jin, I'd much rather them focus that energy on, like, things like Demon Engines and making, like, we still don't have a Venom Crawler kit. Can you believe that? And that came out with Shadow Spear, which was, like, 2 years ago. So we don't have a solo Venom Crawler kit. We don't have an Obliterator kit. I'd much rather Chaos move away from like Imperial Chaos versions of Imperial vehicles, and them to double down on new Demon Engines for Chaos. So like a new Defiler kit, maybe a Venom Crawler kit with alternative weapons, maybe like a whole new Demon Engine. Because think about when like the Lord Discordant came out, that was pretty like revolutionary. I'd love to see like another similar, like I'd love to see like a Chaos shooting tank that was like not a Predator chassis, something that was like a Leman Russ style, I guess, something that like was the Primaris equivalent essentially of like the Chaos stuff, if that makes sense. Let's see here. So this is this way. So, right. Okay. I'm just holding this way, guys, so I can like see kind of where to highlight, because I just want the tops of the tentacles kind of highlighted. So I'm holding it kind of like the way that you'd see it on the model. Yeah, that's the thing though. But like, if they make them, if the demon engines get like a full overhaul, which they like seem to be doing, like obviously they're all like got up in ballistic skill. Like it never made sense to me if you think about it background wise. When a demon possesses a Chaos Space Marine, what happens to the Chaos Space Marine? He gets better, right? He gains wounds, attacks, all sorts of like unnatural abilities. He turns into Demon Prince, possessed, right? In all the background, when a demon possesses you, generally you get way stronger. That's the whole point of the demonic possession. But for some reason, when a demon possesses a vehicle, the vehicle gets worse. You know, like it in the old rules anyways, they would get like worse, like the demon engines had worse ballistic skill and worse whatever, right? Now obviously they've brought it up. Hey Xavier, how's it going, man? Thanks for joining the stream. Yeah, but come on, man. Like, I don't know. It's like demon spirits should be like make the machines like super resilient and like almost like they don't need crew, you know? So they're like basically like I'd imagine a Defiler doesn't have crew, does it? It's just its own thing. So Defiler doesn't have crew. Any of the like things without crew, I feel like should be better than like the regular Chaos Space Marines, you know? Xavier, you guys are so funny, man. Everyone is like literally, you're probably like the fourth person that's asked that today. I feel like every stream I jump on, so many people are interested in what my next army is gonna be. It's hilarious. I love it. Like, I appreciate it because it means you guys like care about like what I'm working on and stuff. So don't get me wrong. Like, I think it's, I think it's awesome, but it's just hilarious. I never thought people cared that much about like what army I'm playing. I did talk about it a little bit. I'm not really going to be starting any sort of armies right now. I'm working. I have a bunch of commissions that I need to focus on right now for the next like 2 months. My goal is to kind of clear up my commission desk by end of January, and then probably paint some single models just for fun. I want to do a little bit of Eldar, maybe some Custodes. I'd love to paint some like I don't know what I'm gonna do with my Soul Drinkers, to be honest. I've had thoughts about selling them, but it's such a like it's such a like bespoke army. Like I've put so much like customization into it, and second, I've always loved the chapter, so it's not hurting anyone right now, it's just sitting there. And I'd love to add to it in the future. Like there's stuff I still want to add to it. Like I want to paint some Blade Guards. I want to paint, and Space Marines are always going to be good at some point. So like having a Space Marine army in my back pocket, I feel like will be a good thing. Like some of the new Black Templar models, I'm really tempted to paint those and add those to my Soul Drinkers as kind of like an add-on. But yeah, right now I don't know, to be honest. I don't know what army I'm going to play. I really want to focus on just painting things that I'm enjoying and get my love of painting back and get rid of the painting burnout, which I've been kind of suffering from the last little while. So that's going to be like my number one focus, is like enjoying painting. Also, I might be going through like a bit of career turmoil in the next 3 months. Like my job is a little bit in flux, and it could go either way, whether I end up like long term with the company that I'm with. Alternatively, I could also be going to Europe in March potentially for 2 months to help open one of our restaurants. So if that happens, I might not be here even to like paint armies, but I'd love to be able to bring an army to Europe with me and play in Germany, which is where I'd be going. Yeah, Xavier, dude, don't get me wrong. I appreciate it, man. I fucking like thank you so much. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like saying like, how dare you ask me. I just think it's funny because every time like I stream, someone asks me like, and I don't know. I just don't know right now. So, but I do appreciate. Knights could be fun. I could see myself doing a knight army at some point. There's rumors of like a new Chaos Knight kit, so we'll see. I don't know. The thing with knights though is just like, I'd love to have knights like in my dream. Well, see, the funny thing is, I don't know if you know, Xavier, but my Soul Drinkers, the chapter I play them as the most is Ultramarines. So I usually run them as Ultramarines. So I know that you guys have Gilliman. And Xavier, have you seen my Sarpedon conversion? I'll grab it if you haven't. Yeah, Nids, I've just never liked those models, man. Too organic for me. Yeah, dude. Hey, man. Anytime come to Vancouver. We'll throw down a game. Anyways, my point is, I might be traveling in the new year at some point, so I don't know. But I will definitely be like doing something. I just don't know what. Like, I'm not quitting the hobby. I think a lot of people are like, oh my god, you're quitting the hobby. No, like, guys, this is such a huge part of my life. And like my whole, like, yeah, it's not something that I'm gonna quit. It's just right now I'm just taking a pause on, you know, and I want the game to be in a slightly better spot competitively as well before I get super deep. People don't understand. I live in Canada, right? Which means for me to travel to tournaments is a lot more expensive than say if I lived in like Florida or I lived in say the West Coast of the States, which means like I don't want to be investing a ton of money back into 40K like traveling and stuff unless it feels like the game's in a good place and like I'm gonna enjoy myself. So for now, like I'm not gonna be doing a lot of traveling and stuff, but I definitely want to travel again at some point next year. I won't be going to LVO this year. I decided to not attend. So I sold my ticket sorry, I didn't sell my ticket. I refunded my ticket. I do love Star Wars. Why do you say that? My signed Yoda thing behind me. Yeah, the problem with Star Wars Legion though, dude, is like I don't know anyone that plays it where I live, you know? At all. It could be fun to paint some models though. And also the models don't do it for me, man. Like Star Wars models, they're just, I don't know. I'm so spoiled by GW models. They're so nice that it's really hard to play models from another manufacturer. I have a Necromunda gang that I converted. It's I have a Necromunda gang. That's one of the few things that I have painted gang wise. Sitting in, it's converted from like some witch hunters. I don't know. Yes, Meatballs. You always show up in like really dark blue on my chat, and it's always hard to read your name. What had a 55% win rate? Oh, with no one above a 55% win rate. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like obviously we got those changes, right? So I think they were kind of the first weekend where they finally hit. But at the end of the day, though, like I don't think Games Workshop really knows what they're doing when it comes to the game balance. I think we all know that, and I think this path that they're going down, and I think I mentioned this before, I think it's like I like it and I hate it, right? Because on one hand, I want the game to be more balanced. On the other hand, I think in order for them to really like, you can't. It's like they're trying to run before they walk, which is. They want to release these like balance updates, which is fantastic, and I want them. But at the same time, the way that they're going to actually release them is going to be really bad, and the delivery mechanism I think is really bad. So we're going to be in a situation where the game is just going to be a big mess. So even though it'll be balanced, it'll probably be a balanced mess. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a lot of confusion on like points and armies, and lots of like people playing like illegal lists. And confused about how to like what rules are most up to date. So even though like once you get all that stuff sorted, the game will probably be much better. It's just gonna be so complicated with all of those various like yeah, all those various like things happening, you know. Oh, you don't know how to play 40k. Well, do you play Legion, Xavier, or like what brought you to this channel that you follow? Like, what game do you play? I guess is a better question. Yeah, you know what? Look, I've met Mike Brandt. I know Mike Brandt. We're not best friends or anything. In fact, I think he doesn't like me that much because of all the drama I've caused in his life. But what I will say, and I trust Mike Brandt will do the best Mike Brandt can. The problem isn't Mike Brandt. And the problem isn't, I'm not worried about Mike Brandt. What I'm worried about is the old boys club of GW, like business practices and like their overall approach to the game. And no amount of Mike Brandt is going to be able to fix that. Like I think, basically, like he's going to do the best he can, but it's like one little guy in a canoe trying to like steer the Titanic, you know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna put in he could put in probably a lot of energy, and things might not ever change, you know. And that's, you know, assuming that they're gonna listen to him. So I just know that for many years, many people probably have tried to fix these issues, and it hasn't worked. So the one thing I do like about Mike being there, and maybe this makes me where do you live, Xavier? Maybe this makes me like racist, so I'm gonna say right now that I'm a racist. But like I kind of feel like there's like a cultural difference between like the UK, like the GW studio, I guess. Oh, okay, so that makes me racist, but I guess it just makes me like, I kind of feel like the people that work at GW studio, especially the ones that are in the like design studio that have maybe come up through the ranks of, you know, various positions throughout GW, because GW does a lot of their hiring and stuff internally. I feel like they've been there for so long that they're completely like brainwashed in the Kool-Aid and like how everything is done, and like they don't have any sort of like outside perspective on like the real world, you know. So the one thing that I will say is like the one thing I'm happy about Mike Brandt being there is like he kind of brings in an outside perspective of someone that like didn't basically have to like grovel his way up to like a studio position. He came in kind of like at a high level with already like a lot of like strong like I guess opinions and or like background, I guess. Whereas I feel like a lot of the people that work in GW Studio, especially at some of those positions, they've been there forever. They've kind of worked their way through the corporate structure, and as a result, they're like completely, brainwashed into the like kind of do no wrong GW model of how, and they're kind of self-selected, if that makes sense. Like when you think about the people that are in those positions, they're kind of self-selected from like the biggest fanboys, and so you end up in a situation where everyone that is up in now those positions is kind of like, well, everything is perfect, nothing is wrong, we do everything great, because that was they're kind of self-selected for that through their hiring process, right? If that makes sense. Exactly. Well, it's not even so Matt Wells, Mike basically worked in a completely different field. I think he worked in software engineering or project management of some kind in the States. And obviously he ran Nova, which was one of the larger successful events in North America. I think he kind of befriended a lot of the I want to sack Xavier. I think he befriended a lot of the like higher ups at GW during his zoom in focus. I think he befriended a lot of the higher ups at GW during his like years as a player, and that's kind of what got him in the door at GW, or at least got him to the point where he could apply for that job. Because you got to remember, guys, Mike technically works for the design studio, right? Or not the design studio. He works for like Games Workshop corporate, and he's head of like North American events, quote unquote. But like, it's very rare that GW has a job posting for that level of executive outside of the UK. Like almost all of the jobs like that, if you want to have any sort of like influence on like the bigger corporate machine, are based in the UK, right? So Mike is very unique in that way that he's not from the UK. He lives in he lives obviously, I think he still lives in the DC area. And Leo, I don't agree necessarily. I don't think it's not that they don't play the competitive game. I just don't think they play it to the way that like we play it. You know what I'm saying? Like they play the competitive game at a different kind of level, I guess. They're playing a different game almost. So. And some of them do play competitively, right? Like, I just don't think they play like at the level that like the competitive players do. Yeah, for sure. Oh shit. I'll grab let me just do this one highlight, Xavier, and I'll grab my model for you. Damn teeth, man. And then the other thing that is, if you look at like, Meatballs, I agree, man. And that, like, just look at any of their job postings, right? And they're like, we don't hire for like your skills, right? We're like, we hire for personality. And like your job application is basically you send in like an interview about like why you should work there, right? Like you have to write like a like a fucking, you know, memoir on like why they should hire you, right? All they're looking for is that attitude, and I think that is a problem because there's such an echo chamber, I think, at Games Workshop, where dissent is just, it's not even that like dissent isn't allowed. I think the people that work there literally are like selected not be dissenters. Like they just don't pick the people that dissent, just don't end up getting jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like they're self-selected for that, like for that, right? Like they just don't get the jobs. It's not even that they're not allowed to have dissent. Like those people just don't make it because they're not like of the right attitude, right? Well, that's the whole thing, Meatballs. Like, and I've had this conversation a lot of times, and I think it's something that's come up quite a bit, which is like, what is spirit of the game, right? So spirit of the game is like, it's, look, I think like I like the idea, like the romantic idea of spirit of the game, and but at the end of the day, spirit of the game is subjective, right? Like yours, like, you know, to give you a really good example, we used to have a guy that played in our club that was like super competitive, and for him, we're playing a war game where one side is trying to kill the other team, right? And so the spirit of that game is like destroying your enemy, right, as best you can. And so for him, you know, being ruthless and just completely destroying the enemy was like the spirit of his game, right? Whereas like for other people, the narrative is the spirit of their game, or the core, or the theme, or whatever million things you can come up with. Like it's so subjective for different people. Just one sec. I'm just gonna grab my my Gilman conversion. One sec. So this is my Sarpedon, who is basically the chapter master of the Soul Drinkers conversion. I converted him. So if you read the Soul Drinkers books, the chapter master, basically the Soul Drinkers are kind of fucked. Basically what happens is they end up being like unwitting pawns to Tzeentch, apparently, and their gene seed is kind of mutated. So at one point, basically, even though they're renegade space marines, they're still loyal to the Emperor, but for some reason their gene seed is kind of fucked up. And at one point, their chapter master Sarpedon, he mutates and he gets 8 spider legs, so he turns into like a half spider, half man, basically, as per the background. And then but he's still like loyal to the Emperor, so he's like a chaos mutant. So basically what I did was I wanted to create that for my Soul Drinkers. So I took this is based on a Venom Crawler body. Yeah, I did, James. The legs are from the giant spider kit from the Orcs and Goblins, although they've been cut down quite a bit. In the background as well, during one of the fights, Sarpedon actually loses one of his legs, and so his leg he gets replaced with a mechanical leg. So as per the background, he has 1 mechanical leg and 7 organic legs. He's armed with the Soul Spear, which is an ancient relic from the Soul Drinkers, in the background as well. And it's basically like their chapter's like most important relic, and there's actually like a whole book. And then the model itself is based off the Horus Lupercal from 30k. That's the torso. The right arm here is from an Obliterator. And the other parts are like from all sorts of other kits, but basically he's like half Obliterator, half Spider, half Venom Crawler. There's probably like $400 in kits in this model. And yeah, so he's like, I think, I actually painted him really quick. I think I could have done a better paint job, but I just wanted to get him done and played. And he's on a 60 mil base. If you guys are wondering why he's got such an outrageous base, well, because I needed to fit him on 60 mil base, because when I play with him, I will run him as Gilliman, basically. So he needed to be on a 60 mil base. That's why he's got this like outrageous, like weird overhanging base. Because I was like, the only way I could actually run him in a Chaos Space Marine army was as a Gilliman, basically. Yeah, thanks, Jen. Yeah, the Eagle's actually from, I think, Gilliman's base, or from Horus's base. And then I combined it with a piece of like plastic terrain from something else. But yeah, this whole Soul Spear is actually like 6 pieces. It's like there's a giant pin running through it. This is from like you can see how, you can't see it, but you can see how wobbly it is. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite conversions I've done. There's a lot of green stuff in here. You can't tell, but if you check out my Instagram, JimboV_paints, I think there's a picture of it unpainted or while I was building it. You can see all the various stages, but he's got the Soul Drinker icon too on his chest, so it's pretty cool. So anyways. I mean, my heart didn't sink, Eric. I felt bad for all the Genestealer Cult players and Custodes players that were probably hoping to play them at LVO. Because I bet you now they're not going to make the LVO cutout date. So that sucks for them. I wouldn't say my heart sunk because, I don't know. At this point, I'm not really surprised, I guess, that any codex is delayed. Are you, though? By the way, guys, this has been a really fun stream, so I appreciate everyone tuning in. I know I haven't been that consistent with the streaming, so when I do stream and I do get at least like more than myself talking to myself, it definitely makes it a lot more encouraging to come back and stream more. So I appreciate everyone that tuned in today. I'm not logging off by any means, but I'm gonna keep streaming for a little while. But I just appreciate everyone that tuned in and is hanging out with me and chatting with me. It's encouraging, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Makes me feel better about it. It helps my motivation too, because remember I was saying I was struggling with motivation. So when there's people to hang out with and kind of paint with, it's kind of fun. Would anyone ever be interested? And let me ask this in the chat. Would anyone ever be interested in doing like a group painting stream where like anyone can kind of join in on like Discord, or like we do like a Discord kind of live chat / stream where people can kind of join in either by video or by audio, and like it's more of like an interactive thing, and we can all kind of paint together and just actually have a conversation. Would that be something that you guys would be interested in, rather than it like you guys just watching me paint and kind of me talking to my chat? Because I wouldn't mind doing scheduling something like that and seeing like how many people kind of jump in. It could get totally crazy if like too many people show up, but it could be kind of fun too. Kind of like a group, like I don't know how many videos and chat, like voice chat people Discord supports, but like imagine doing like a Discord, like streaming like a Discord chat room where like maybe like I don't know, there's like 10 to 15 of us all just hanging out and painting in a video chat or in a audio format. Yeah, I know you guys do, but I'm just talking about for my friends. So let me know if you guys would think that would be fun, and what I'll do is I will put some I'll maybe plan it in the Discord. So if you haven't joined the Discord, guys, check the show notes on YouTube. I believe there might be a link on the Twitch. I'm not quite sure, but they're definitely on the YouTube. There's a link to the Discord. So if I do something, I will announce it through there. So make sure to join the Discord if you haven't. And if you don't know how to do that, shoot me a DM on Twitch and I will send you the, like if you don't want to go on YouTube and track it down, shoot me a DM on the YouTubes and I will send you the link. Okay, so there is the greens, the horns. Now I want to do the slime slash... What color should I do the slime, guys? What do you guys think? So like this like slimy stuff. I think I'll start by painting it white and then doing like a kind of a color on it. What color of slime do you think, drool, do you think this guy would have? Pink? Yeah, that could be fun. Oh, I actually have this, let's see here. Where is it? I bought this crazy... I have this guy here. Yeah, let's see. So I have this fluorescent pink. It's really bright. It's a magenta fluorescent from so I could do that color. Do you think that's gonna be too like crazy? Let's see, I'm gonna mix it a bit. Sorry if there's a bit of vibration, guys. It's the vortex mixer. These Vallejo paints, you need to mix, especially the fluorescent ones, you need to give them a lot of mix. Yeah, but they can change the contracts, man. And I don't think that that's like an insurmountable obstacle. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's see this stuff. Look at how bright that is. You guys can't see it. Let me see. Show you. It's like super bright. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. So let me just paint everything in white first, because I think that'll help with the cohesion of the honestly, James, like I could take it or leave it. Like I bought it for I think I got it for like $30 on Amazon, so for like the cost it's like you might as well. What I will say though is like there's very few paints where I feel like having the vortex mixer actually made a difference compared to me just shaking it. Like, so if I have a really some paints that I like really old that I haven't used in a long time or are really thick, it's like it's kind of cool to be able to like vortex mix them, I guess. But in general, I mean, it doesn't feel like it does any more of a job than like just a really good handshake, personally. But I mean, I think maybe it's like because I'm using Pro-Acryl paints lately a lot and GW paints. I feel like it's not that great because Pro-Acryl paints are so great. Like they're so like well mixed already. I think if you're maybe using like a lot more, I think Army Painter paints and Vallejo paints probably benefit from it a lot more. And then other brands as well that aren't as well, I guess, mixed. But honestly, because I use mostly GW and like scale some, like the paints that I use are good quality, so I feel like unless it's like a really old paint that's been sitting there, it's not as like needed, I guess. Right now, it's just more of a convenience of me not having to stand there and shake the bottle. But for those Vallejo paints, like the one I just mixed, I definitely find it useful because the Vallejo paints, especially some of the like weird formulation paints, like the fluorescence or like weird, like I'll show you an example. So I have quite a few of these Secret Weapon washes from like, I got like the full set of Secret Weapon washes. Rest in peace, Secret Weapon. They're no longer in business. But okay, so I'll show you an example of this. So you can see this. This is the Secret Weapon. This wash is called Fallout. Right? So in a case like this, when there's like this much settlement, the Vortex Mixer is really nice because it really quickly will pick up all that settlement and get it like back mixed in. And then I also have some like weird Secret Weapon. Let me see if I can find one. Like, not that. Like I have, for instance, Like this would be a good example. Some of the old scale colors. So you can see all the mediums at the top. Sorry. Can see all the medium. That's all medium at the top, like that white stuff. And then all the pigments settled. So see how white it is? That's all the medium. So for something like this, it's also nice. But again, I don't use these paints that much. Oh, Dr. Soda, man, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, man. I appreciate the comment, and I wouldn't have recommended them if I didn't think that they were a quality product. That's literally what I'm using right now, and it's my favorite. Yeah, so like things like the floral paint, James. Anyways, Dr. Soda, thanks for that comment, man. I'm glad that they worked out for you. I actually that was the set of brushes. They were on sale, I think, at one point, and I actually bought them because they're like, I'm just like a brush whore, and so they were on sale, so I bought them cheap. And that set actually got me hooked on Rosemary & Co's. And honestly, I will tell you guys, if you have not, like, painting with nice sable brushes that are like keep their point and work really well, it makes a night and day difference for not just like your painting quality, but also just like it's just nice to paint with, you know. So I'm glad those worked out, Dr. Soda. I appreciate it. Yeah, the James, I agree. So the Vallejo floral paints, I have like 2 of them. I might use the Vortex mixer for like the Turbodork paints, mostly Vallejo paints that have been sitting for a long time, or like old metallic paints that have been sitting a long time. But I don't necessarily use them for my Pro Aquarels, just they don't need it. And my GW ones very rarely need it. Unless I'm like trying to bring back an old color or something like that. Jim, would I play Catachans? If they had new models. I wouldn't play them with the current sculpts. I mean, I like the new sculpts, like the characters. Those are cool. So if they redid the entire infantry range in that like vein, I could think about doing them. I'd much rather do like Talarns though, or like another... what are the guys in like the turbans? That's more my people, you know? Turban dudes. So that'll probably be more my jam. Any AOS army? Yeah, I mean, Slaves to Darkness has been tempting me for a while. The Chaos. I really like the Chaos for AOS. I really like the Undead. I actually painted a few of the vampires on my stream quite a while ago. So I have a few of the Soulblight Gravelords, I believe. Those are really cool. I really like those. I wanted to do like an old school like Blood Knight Vampire Counts army. I just when AOS 3 dropped, I just decided not to. But I did paint a few of the vampires, which were really fun, and I still have the set from or pick like Nick from Table on the Greater Grid. I don't understand that comment, Xavier. So close, guys, so close. Yeah, I understand, but I don't understand his comment. I understand who Nick from Play on Tabletop is. I just don't understand when he says, pick like Nick from Table on the Greater Good. I don't understand what that means. You know what I'm saying? Is there any more slime? Is that it? Oh yeah. Or Tau. Okay. Yeah, no, I would never play Tau. Honestly, I don't like playing armies that only operate in like 1 or 2 phases. Like Tau, I would never like to play. Necrons, I would never like to play. Tau especially I would never like to play because they're basically, they don't operate in the psychic phase, they don't operate in the close combat phase that much. For me, playing in like multiple phases is like a big part of my like what I like. And the other thing is I just don't like the Tau aesthetic, to be honest. I've never liked the like mecha, the kind of Asian mecha robot aesthetic. It's just not my, the models are just don't do it for me. Space cows is not my thing, you know? All right, time for the pink. Okay, so we got all the white on the goop. So the top 3 armies right now, just based on the current models that are out that I would play, and I won't count Chaos because I just quit Chaos, would be Custodes, Dark Eldar, and just based on the models. And I actually would, I'm very tempted, guys, now that AdMech are nerfed and I can start them without getting yelled at, I'd be very tempted to do Dark Mechanics army. Like, very tempted. Very tempted. So I might, during, like, once I'm done kind of caught up on all my painting, do some, like, Dark Mechanicus, like, test stuff. All right, here we go. That would be really fun. And I think I'd have to figure out a way to do it where like it would be like heavy kit bash. It wouldn't be just like, it wouldn't just be like AdMech with like a Chaos Star or like in a Chaos color. I'd want to find some like some cool Chaos kits to like actually mix them with. Like if they do come up with like say new cultists, for instance, or something along those lines. Or like maybe some of the Necromunda gangs. They're pretty chaosy. Could be fun. Yeah, I don't know, James. I haven't really put a lot of thought into it. I just love the idea of like really dark, like something along the lines of like almost like a like think about like demon engines as a lot, like using the demon engine kits as a lot of the base for like say the AdMech vehicles, right? And then for the troops you'd have like regular Skitarii stuff that are kit bashed, but then like it would be kind of like almost like the demon engines, Chaos Demon engines with like Dark Mechanicus troops, with like Mechanicus troops and characters. So you'd use a lot of the Demon Engine kits for like the bases for like for some of the different like I guess proxies. So it kind of looked like something straight out of 30K. Because I love the 30K fluff for the Dark Mechanicus. Like they have all these like some of the weird ass like demon engines like in some of the, in like the 30K books that like that are forbidden, that the Dark Mechanicus basically fire up. I love that stuff. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I'd love to, yeah, like if I could find some good 3D prints too. Like for instance, the those corn dudes, what were they called? They were like Necromunda. They came on that big box set that was like $6,000. Those I think would be good starting point for some of those kits conversions. Yeah, like corpse grinders with, because they got a lot of like mechno, is that even a word? Mecha bits on stuff. So that could be cool. Right back. I'm just gonna put start painting on the way while the paint dries. All right, I'm back. Yeah, corpse gardens could be cool. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, half a raptor model. All right, let's see here. Do I need to highlight this? I think maybe a little bit. Let's see here. Doesn't really need to highlight, I think. This stuff's kind of like mucky on its own. Okay. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue it on, and then I'm gonna do the final highlights on the model so that I can kind of track the highlights, I guess. So let me just glue this on. Use my knife. Oh. Do I still sell miniatures? What is that supposed to mean? What miniatures? Like, do I have models that I sell? Do I sell like commission painting? I don't understand the question. I mean, I have miniatures and I would be willing to sell them. If that's what you mean. I'm not a miniature salesman though. If that's what you're asking. Point this down. Okay. Oh, shit. A bit longer. Oh, so like, do I do commission painting? I do commission painting, if that's what you're asking. Right now, my commissions are closed because I have too many projects that I'm behind on. So I'm not taking on any new projects right now. But if you just like follow me on Instagram, I will post there when I'm like taking commissions again, I guess. Kind of gross, huh? I'm 50-50 on if I want to do some OSL on the green. I feel like I should because it's just so bright, but I'm kind of worried about ruining it. So we'll see. So now I'm gonna basically do some highlights on the blue, and we'll be basically almost done this guy. Let's see here. I don't. Do you have your own museum, Xavier, that you're gonna put my models in? Is that? Because I don't think any like actual museum would take my models. Are you a secret museum curator that I don't know about? All right, let's see here. So my favorite color is Sotek green. So what I want to do is kind of like where's that? Quebec City? I don't know. I've never been to Quebec City, so I don't know about the museum. I mean, if you're a museum creator and you want to put my shit in a special museum, that's great. I will definitely send you some models. It'd be really funny though if I always think about did you guys hear about that recent recent museum story where like the guy got like a bunch of money from like the art gallery to do like a piece, and he basically just like jacked the money and was like, my art piece is basically stealing from capitalism or something along those lines. I don't know if you guys heard about that story. And he like ran off with the money from the art museum, and he didn't like give them anything. Anyways, it's a really funny story, but I would do something like that, where I'd be like, yeah, I'll do some commission work for your museum, and then just run off with your money. Do you live in Quebec? I assume with a last name like Martineau, you're from Quebec? Sounds very French to me. Why are you scared about make a fault on a mini through Silva? Yeah, but the thing is, this isn't my model. This is a commission piece, so if I screwed up and I have to start again, that's not great for myself, or if, like, I don't know. I don't like to experiment with people's models if it's not mine. I feel like, you know, it's like racing someone else's car. You know, sure, you might win the race, but oh, dude, don't worry about it. Your English is great. It's definitely your English is much better than my French, so you're totally fine, man. Yeah, James, that was a hilarious story as well. Apparently the cut up shredded one sold for like way more than the original like uncut one sold, because they like resold it basically. Just hilarious, because like the whole point was that it was like not, you know, he was trying to like troll them. So it's funny how like the new one, the cut up ones ended up selling for more, you know. Okay. English not my first language, yeah. I didn't even know chaos can be screwed, lol. What does that mean, Xavier? I don't understand. Chaos can be screwed. Sorry guys, just trying to focus. This is like the finer detail part, and I just don't want to screw it up because I'm so close to finishing this. This is like the second to last step. Oh yeah, I understand what you're saying. Have you seen Hell by Chapman Brothers? No, Leo, what is that? Is that a painting, I presume? Or what is that? Oh no, don't be quiet, Xavier. Please. I appreciate your interaction. So please keep me engaged, because if it's just quiet, then that's no fun either. So I just didn't understand what you meant by, I think you meant like I can't screw it up because it's chaos. It's hard to like screw up the painting, basically. Shit. Yeah. Hell by Chapman Brothers. No, I haven't seen it. Where is it? Like, where would I see this? This thing. Is it like Game Workshop stuff, or is it like a random like artist? All right, there we go. So that's the kind of last final highlights on the front there. Just so basically, guys, all I did was I did the airbrushing, but I wanted to give that front extra bit of blue, a bit of pop. So I just went through with some brush, and I brought that blue a little bit brighter than all the other blues, so that it kind of pulls everything to the front. Do you think I should go for the OSL, guys? Should I try this like OSL? Very, very kind of like live on stream, and you guys can see me fuck it up. Give me a vote if you think I should do it. It's probably a bad way to determine whether I should do something, but fuck it. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna static grass it while I wait the judgment of the chat. And then it'll be basically done. I got some different grasses. Let's see here. So I use Vallejo matte varnish rattle can spray. Jim, I don't think I have a good list of blue boys. A good list of blue boys. Yeah, so gaming co-op, I use Vallejo matte varnish. The it's like a spray rattle can, I guess. I like it. It's like super matte. You gotta be really careful though. It comes out like very heavy into the bottle. Stop across there. Oh, that's right. Oh, you mean you need an army list? That's what you mean by good list. Yeah, I don't know either, man. My my 40k acumen is a little bit out of date. Right now, I think the best Ultramarines list is probably the like Dreadnought heavy one, with like 2 Invictors, 2 Redemptors, Relic Contemptors, like, yeah, and then like sprinkle in some other spice, like a Tech Marine or 2. I think that's kind of the current best Ultramarines list is that right now, from what I understand, like with the redeploy, just a very aggressive. I think it's basically 2 Redemptors, 1 or 2 Invictors, and then 1 or 2 Relic Contemptors, so like 6 Dreadnoughts basically. And then oh, well, if you want to post it, I don't know if you can post it in chat. I wouldn't, but if you want to jump in the Discord, Xavier, and post it in the Discord, I'll take a look and I'll give you my thoughts. I don't know if it's going to be helpful to post it in the chat right now. So I'll give you my thoughts on it. Just throw it in like one of the channels. All right, guys. So there we are on the Neolith Vortex Beast. Finished, minus the OSL, which I think. What do you think, guys? Yay or nay on the OSL? So I didn't really get any votes in the chat, so given that, I'm gonna say no for now. Let me sit on it for a day and think on it before I go and ruin it. But with that said, guys, it's been 2 hours and 15 minutes. A lovely stream. Thanks everyone for joining. I'm gonna sign off, go grab some dinner. Hopefully that new Spider-Man trailer drops soon. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna be building some orcs. So join me again at 3 o'clock. Probably do about 2 hours of orc building. And yeah, that's about it. So as I said, Xavier, if you want to throw that list into the chat, the Discord, feel free. It's gonna be hard for me to answer it on the chat here, but that's it, guys. All right, have a great night and